Hello, welcome to Subjective Insights. Today I'll talk about Moses and Pharaoh and how some Christians try to shoehorn the doctrine of free will into the Bible. If you want to know more about what I believe or understand by the term free will, I got a couple of videos on it. I shall link you to them if you wish. Okay. So I'll start off with the conclusion to my argument that in order for Christians to maintain a belief in free will, they have to make a mockery of God. Okay, so I will use the story of Pharaoh and Moses to demonstrate this. And before I go into the story, I will kind of spoil the story a bit for you, because I'm assuming you already know it, right? You know how in films and in some books, there's often a twist at the end that changes the whole thing backwards, you know? So if you've ever seen the first Saw film, right at the end you find out that that dead guy on the floor in a pool of blood was actually the murderer. He wasn't actually dead. He was pretending the whole time to be dead whilst being in the room with the two people that he was torturing. This is often a kind of... It's a good narrative device because it produces a lot of rereadability into a text, because you can, once you've seen the reveal, you can go back and go, oh, I see what's going on behind the curtains now. But let's forget the reveal for a bit and go along in the story. So Pharaoh's got the Hebrews as slaves, right? And God don't want this situation to be. His intention, as he stated to Joseph at the end of the prequel to Exodus, was to bring them into the promised land like 500 years later. So Moses has been in the wilderness for like 80 odd years, and God goes, well, now Moses, it's about time we freed our Hebrews, right? So take that rod and you can turn it into snakes, and you've got this little bag thing that you can make your hand leprous and stuff with, and go and tell this geezer Pharaoh to let my people go. So Moses goes, does the snake stuff, but Pharaoh's like, what, you think I'm gonna let my slaves go just because you made your hand look a bit dodgy and like you turned this rod into a serpent? Oi, Magi, come here, come show him a single thing. But so Moses goes back to God, and God's like, he must be thinking like, where are the Hebrews then? You know, I just sent you to get the Hebrews, so you come back without the Hebrews. Where are they? And Moses is like, well, I went, God, you know, I did what you said, and he didn't free him. And then God's like, oh, I thought that would work, you know. I thought that that snaky trick would get. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do now. I know, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna get frogs or blood. What are the plagues that he sends them? I can't remember what they were. So Moses goes away, does one plague. Pharaoh don't let the Hebrews go. He comes back and goes, God, it didn't work. And God's like, but I thought it would work. Oh, damn it, this Pharaoh's so stubborn. You know, there's no convincing this guy. Go back and do this. Moses comes back. I did it, God. Still no bloody Hebrews. Oh, no. What are we going to do, Moses? What are we going to do? I know what. Turn the Nile into blood. Blah, blah, he goes back and forth. Each time comes back and goes, you know, thought that would work. I must be a bit thick. But anyway, try this thing. And after a couple of times, God's like, Moses comes back and God's like, I'm angry now. I'm well frustrated. I'm trying to do this thing, but I'm failing to do it. I'm sinning. Oh, what are we going to do? You know, bugger this Pharaoh guy. I'm going to harden his heart. I'm so angry with him. I'm going to bloody hurt him. So God says he hardens his Pharaoh's heart then. Which, if you're following out of at this point and you forget about the big reveal at the end, is a bit like maybe God covering his tracks. God's realising at this point that he's a bit rubbish at convincing people to do stuff. So he's like, I know what, just to save face now, I'll say I hardened his heart, you know, because then I'm the one in control. And it goes on. Eventually God sends a plague that kills the firstborns. And then Pharaoh lets the Hebrews go. But Pharaoh chases them out, and God really, really hurts them. You know, he puts them underwater for a long time until they're dead, basically. and then the big reveal comes. You know, for this reason did I raise Pharaoh up, so that I may show forth my power and my glory. Also, he wanted to use it as a demonstration to the people in the promised land that the Hebrews were going to be going to, basically not to mess with the Hebrews. Now then, if what the Christians do is they don't then read back the text in light of that, because God says, I raised you up, right? Now then, if God's not a liar, then this means that God raised Pharaoh up from a young boy to become the man he was, to stand against God. And then when God Pharaoh's hardened heart, it wasn't because God was frustrated, it was because Pharaoh, being a man, was not able, did not have the capacity, was not strong enough to stand against God. And so God wouldn't be able to demonstrate upon Pharaoh his full power and might. So God had to harden Pharaoh's heart in order that God could demonstrate his full glory. And that's magnificent, right? That's an amazing picture of God put forward there. That he's in control of the situation all the way through. He's not like us humans that are constantly reacting to events, you know, that are constantly trying to achieve an end and failing and having to adjust plans as we go along. He's behind the scenes and everything, like a diabolical genius manipulating and manoeuvring it all. And that's awesome, but in order to have that, you've got to denigrate man. You've got to have man as the creature, not the creator. It's quite simple. Yeah, I think that's it. So on the one hand, you can have free will if you want, but you got a bit of a rubbish God who's quite powerless and ineffectual and gets frustrated and then hurts people because he's angry. You know, like one of those domestic abusive cases. You know, it's not my fault, I'm doing this, you made me do this. Yeah, goodbye.